Oh my God. Thank you guys. Thank you for letting me know. Is the sound okay right now? Yes, great. Oh my God, I made the most stupid mistake ever. Just muted my headset, so I have to go through the material. Okay, I was in the risk warning. Anyway, you see it on your screens, so I will not repeat the disclaimer warning. I will just quickly read the risk warning as well. Trading warning. Risk warning: trading forex and CFDs may not be suitable for all investors and carries a high degree of risk to your capital. Trading such products is risky and you may lose all of your investment capital. So we have admin out of our way. It's me, Andrea, for people that they have been attend to my webinars before. So I will not spend much time on it. I just want you, as I always saying in the webinars, our mission, me and Stuart's, is for helping you, for helping becoming better traders, and we achieve that by actually writing and doing the videos every day, writing reports. So it's good, guys, to have a look in our analysis page. We explain it technically wise, fundamentally wise, why we assume and we think and we believe the market will move on the direction that we assume that it's going to move. So this would be a good the analysis page is a good book for you. I mean, because we write everything in detail, even if you don't agree, you get the knowledge of how to learn and read the charts, to read the signals that the charts are giving you. So this will make you a better trader day after day. So today I choose average directional index. And why is that? Because ADX is an indicator, which is actually a very good tool for trend traders. I don't know how many of you are trend traders. Anyway, you are. Robert is a trend trader. Even if you are not, no sound again. Hello? Yep. So Bruce, it's okay. Anita, so good. So Sibusiso, a trader. Who else of you guys? We are 37 people over here. Who else is a trend trader? Or sometimes when he sees a strong trend, prefers on following the trend path and trading on the and be a follower of the trend. Cool. Thank you, guys. That's good because the ADX will help you a lot. If you're not using it already, it will help you even further because ADX it's not only a trend trader, a trend identificator, let's say, indicator, but also it gives you the benefit for ADX is that it gives you also the direction of the trend. And as many other indicators, it provides divergence signals. Thank you, Masood. Thank you. So today, just briefly, a background, how it was created, from whom it was created, and more importantly, how we can use it, how we could get benefit of it, examples. Of course, like every single webinar, examples are helping me understanding, and hopefully they are helping you as well. And also divergence, how we could identify divergence using ADX, and some possible risk regarding the settings, most precisely, of the ADX. So I know that many of you're not a daily traders, you are not a long term traders. So the change of this, in order to apply ADX, you have to change a little bit the settings. So there are some risk over there, but we will see it. We'll see it. So briefly, firstly, I'm glad that we have many trend traders in our session today. So don't hesitate to ask me anything you want, guys. We have more issues with the sound. So okay. Sound is okay. So there might be some people's software, I suppose. Okay. Please log out and log in again. Thank you. I'll send this a message to everyone, so people that they have actually the problem will see it as well. So just a brief background. I will avoid spending too much time on the history of it. So just to let you know, it was created and developed by Wallace Winter back in 1978. And it was initially Winter, the creator of the ADX, was actually using this tool for commodities and daily prices initially. However, as we have checked, the Economist, and after 1978, they checked this indicator with other kinds of assets, and it seems that it's a very good indicator for stock selection as well. So what ADX is, what the average directional index is simply an indicator, as I already mentioned, that actually gives you an objective value for identify the strength of the trend. So your trend might be a downwards trend, it might be an upwards trend, but ADX initially, with that blue line that I have over here, initially gives you how strong is a trend. So you understand that the stronger a trend is, then the more it will continue in the direction in that direction. So if we that's logical, guys. So if you see a strong trend, a strong value on the ADX, it means that it doesn't run out of steam, so the trend will continue in that direction for quite some time. So initially it's a good indicator for the strength of the trend. Also, by having such indicator, especially if you're a trend traders, it reduces risk, and as you understand, increases profit potential. So by having a signal of a very strong trend, and you're following that trend, then it means that you're reducing the risk on the positions that you have taken. So it can be considered as a very good tool. In my opinion, it's a very good and very strong tool. It doesn't give you the direction. So that blue line is what we call ADX, okay? So that blue line is actually what it gives us, how strong our trend is. So it considered be a non-directional indicator. However, what actually give us the direction of the trend is those the additional lines that have been added later on after Wilter has created ADX. So it's that blue, it's that red and that green lines. These two lines are actually give us the direction. ADX is not the directional one. These additional lines give us the direction though. So we have two important things in one indicator. strength, so momentum, and direction. So I will explain that right now, what I mean by that. Okay, before I continue, I have a question. For what type of traders is this indicator suitable for? Scalpers or long-term traders? Both. Why? If you're a long-term trader, you will use the default settings of ADX or increase the settings of ADX. If you're a scalper, you will reduce it. Okay. I have this in a slide later on, so bear with me and you'll see how it can be used for scalpers and how it can be used for long traders as well. So let's continue. Technicians are actually technicians like me. I'm a technical analyst, and etc. Many investors as well. They are using this tool in order to confirm a continuation of a trend or to identify a reversal of a trend. So it is commonly used either for confirming a continuation or either confirming a reversal of the trend. As you already know, there are numerous trading indicators, and they are meant to confirm the trend as well. But once the trend is identified, the challenge, and you know what I mean by that, the challenge is to determine the best time to enter and exit a trade. Is that the most difficult part of trading? Entering on the con or the best time and exiting on the best time. So that's why Mr. Wilder has added to the ADX that blue and green line that I showed you before. So the red line stands for the minus directional movement, and the green line stands for plus directional movement. So which actually is what I'm repeating from the start of this webinar. Give us a direction. So the plus directional movement give us give us the upwards movement. The minus directional movement, which is the red line, give us the downwards movement. So that's why if you check your MT4 platform, you will see the ADX line usually plotted in a chart window along with these two lines. In our MT4, the Hot Forex platform, we have in a single indicator the ADX line and the plus and minus directional movement indicators, the blue, the green and red as well. So before I move on to explain how we could read these two lines, we have to see in this table how to read the ADX scale. So ADX, I will move to the previous slide. If you have seen, ADX is plotted from 0 to 100, okay? So what does it mean? It means that if that we have a strong trend only if the ADX is above 25, okay? So from 25 to 50, we have a strong trend. From 50 to 75, we have a very strong trend. And the tricky thing is when it exceeds 75, if it exceeded 75, then for sure we have a strong trend, a very, very strong trend, but we might have reached the peak. We might have reached to an overextended trend. That means we might have reached the overbought or the oversold level. So in that area, even if we have a very, very extremely strong trend, it might reverse. So there is the risk of seeing a reversal of the trend. So the best numbers, the best ranges to enter a strong trend is between 25 to 75. Okay, if However, the ADX falls below 25 or below 20, if you want a further confirmation, then this indicates that our trend is weak. So it advises that we don't actually have a trend. We might be in a consolidating market, a ranking market. So the best is not to enter while your ADX is quite weak. Okay, so that's for the ADX scale so far. So here I have an example of how can be used. Mokadi, okay, you missed the introduction part, but I think with the examples that I have pointed out that I have in the webinar, you will catch up. You will catch up. If you have any questions, just don't hesitate to stick it in the box. So, how we can use actually the ADX? Here we have a Euro-Yen daily chart. I have used the only reason that I used daily chart is because it was a very, very clear example. Okay, so don't stick on the fact that I use a long-term chart. It was a very clear example of presenting to you how ADX can be used. So in this example, as you can see, initially we were clearly on a downtrend. Can you see that? In between March up to April. So if we are checking our ADX indicator, during this time we were in a downtrend. However, our ADX was not, since the beginning of the trend, it was not above 25. So the trend was initially weak. The ADX has crossed above the 25 barrier just in the end of March. Can you see that? So since we have seen this rise, and you see he was sloping higher and higher up to 62 for quite some time. It was from 28th of March up to the end of April, so for a month. So initially, once we have seen the cross above the 25 barrier, we knew we understood that the strength of the trend is increasing. So we are getting signs of a strong trend, a strong downwards trend. What that means? It means that the rising of ADX line, that like I'm pointing over here at 3A, it means that trend strength increasing and price moves in the trend direction. So since we are in a downwards move, then this means that it's likely to continue moving downwards because the ADX line has crossed 25 and suggests that we have an increasing trend strength. However, as I pointed out, what we have to check as well is the the DI lines. So the DI lines, as once we have identified that ADX is above 25, we have seen that the red line, which is the negative DI line, the negative directional indicator, is above the positive one, the plus directional line. So what that suggests, if you see that the negative DI is above positive DI, that means that price is moving down. So this is another confirmation of a continuation of a downtrend. Okay, and a strong one because we have already measured ADX as well. If you see the vice versa, like we are seeing at this area over here, our ADX continue to be above 25, so we are continue being a strong trend. However, the plus DI line has crossed above the negative DI line. What that means? It means that we have reversed and now we have a strong uptrend. Price is moving higher and higher and higher. We have a strong ADX and the DI lines are pointing that price are moving higher and higher, and that was indeed confirmed. You see that signal was identified at the, okay, I have hidden this by mistake. Apology, this should be around the end of April, that the plus DI has crossed above negative DI, but you cannot risk entering it at that point. You need to wait a bit to be confirmed, and it was confirmed back in May. You see a big gap higher. It might be initially a first bearish candle, but a very big, strong, wild bullish candle. ADX continue to be above 25, plus DI above negative DI, so you could enter at that point. You could have entered in this trend. You could buy actually, and you see, there is a confirmation on this euro dollar daily. That's why I've chosen it, because you see that it continued upward for quite some time. Actually, 26th of June. It's a it's a quite big it's a very it should be a very profitable entry, because it continued that way for many days and months, as it seems. Can you show the plus DI and minus DI? Is what I'm pointing over here. The green one is plus DMI. DMI and DI is the same thing. Okay, so plus DMI, or what I stand is plus DM. Plus DI is the same, guys. Don't confuse yourself. DI and DMI is the same thing. Okay. Directional movement indicator. Directional indicator in shortcut, if you want to. So green stands for plus DI. Red stands for minus DI. Okay. Okay. I will try at some point. I think I will be able and ready to do live charts analysis as well. Finger crossed, will be soon. Which time frame is suitable for use ADX M30? Okay. So we have covered this example, so I'll move on. Regarding the settings is the next slide, Masood. So it's exactly the next slide after example 2. We see how the time frame that it can be you can use the ADX. So in this example, I just put this example on because I just wanted you to see also a ranking market and what is happening to ADX when you have a ranking market, a consolidation. So what we have seen in pound CAD weekly. Sorry, they are long terms, but I use long terms because it was a clear examples, good examples. That's the only reason. Okay. So as you can see over here, for like 3 years. Okay, that's a very long-term example, but I just to have it on your mind. We have seen pound CAD consolidating between resistance and support levels. So we never had actually clear trend for pound CAD. It was consolidating, hitting support, hitting resistance, hitting support, and vice versa all the time. So we had the ranking market. During that period, you will notice that the D lines had actually never managed to go beyond above 25, and ADX, while it managed to break above ADX above 25, it didn't manage to hold for quite some time, or hit above 50. So it was always below 50, in between of 25 and 50. The only time that we had a clear sign of a trend was during September. So in this area over here, you see that we have seen a break of the resistance, okay, break above, and then at that area, you see our ADX has broke 25 and continue rising and rising and rising. So that was a good reversal, shall I say, or not a reversal, a good conversion of a ranking market to a clear strong upwards movement. So what you have to take care, you can still use ADX. What I want to say for this example is that you can still use ADX even if you are in a consolidation mode, even if your chart is consolidating. So if you have a pair that is consolidating, then once you have seen that it broke above the resistance level, okay, like what happened over here, then that triggers you to add this pair in your watch list on the anticipation that is likely to have changed and to move upwards. So you are confirming that later on with ADX going above 25, a clear indication with plus DI moving above minus DI, so a clear indication that we are in an uptrend, and a very strong one, because if you have seen it at ADX, it went above 25, above 50, and we are at the 50 to 75 area, which is which is a very, very strong trend. It's not an overbought territory yet. It should be an overbought territory if it was rising above 75. Remember the table that I showed you before. So anything you want to ask for that example for the ranking market? Just don't hesitate. Okay, I will move to Masoud's question regarding the settings. So by default, if you have noticed also in my examples, by default ADX is set to 14 periods. So if you are using a daily chart, that means 14 days. If you are using hours, that means the last 14 hours. So you can modify. Of course, you can modify, like every single other indicator. You can modify the settings. However, you have to take care. Okay, so if you increase this period, if you increase a lot the time frame of the ADX, then you might end up with more reliable signals, but a late signals. So that will give you signs after quite late ones. I mean, you will miss the best time of entering the market. If, however, you shorter the time frame too much, you have faster signals, but you have the risk of not having accurate signals. It might be the signs that you see there might be inaccurate ones. So what you have to do in such cases, you have to test and check your settings based on your trading style. So if you are like Masoud is asking for 30 minutes chart, hourly chart, etc. For intraday charts, you can reduce the settings down to 7, or for even lower down to 5. But check that it gives you signs the signs on the correct it doesn't give you inaccurate signs. So if you see that these two examples, I have reduced the ADX settings back down to 5. So I have faster signals, if you have seen that, but some of them might be wrong, might be correct, might be wrong. You have to check. Okay, I'm in an uptrend. What my ADX indicator is pointing. Okay, it's above 25. Plus D line is above minus D line, so that means that it's an upwards movement. So that was a correct sign. That seems that the 5 period setting that I have chose satisfied the particular chart. So go backwards and check that it gives you the correct signals. Just check the historical performance of your chart. If, however, you have increased the settings, you will see that you have a smoother ADX line, more reliable, indeed, the more reliable ones, because at this area over here, we have a ranking market, and indeed, the ADX it crossed below 25, so it's saying that we have a weak trend. But you might have missed you might have missed the trend if the settings that you have used are way higher than the suitable ones for the particular chart that you decided to use ADX on. So check it. Check the historical prices. Check whether it gave in the past correct and accurate and on time signals. Okay, so yeah, usually if you're an intraday trader, then you have to reduce it back to down to 7, but 7 or 5. However, sometimes if you're let's say a 4-hour trader, which the 14 period setting might be suitable as well. So you have to find the correct setting in order to satisfy your trading style. Each one of us has a different trading style, so you have to test your indicator. What if the ADX is in the range between 50 to 75? If the ADX is in the range, Henry, if the ADX is on the range between 50 to 75, let me go back to the previous slide. If it's in the range between 50 to 75, then we have a strong trend. If it goes above 75, then we have a very, very high risk of reversing. Okay, so 50 to 75 is a good number for entering a strong trend. So if we have a range between 50 and 75, but the ADX is moving down, should we still enter in the market? Yes, you can, but it would be for a shorter period of time, because remember, the strong trend is above 25 up to 75. So even if you are in the 50 to 75 area and it's sloping down, there is still time, there is still steam for the continuation of a trend. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, we have covered different periods. Now we I have also included in this webinar the divergence, ADX and divergence. So as we know, The ADX is a series of numbers that actually presents to us the trend momentum. Okay, so clearly we can understand from the values of the ADX whether a trend is gaining or losing momentum, right? Okay, so far. So what momentum is? Momentum is actually the speed of the price. That's why it's significant to take care of the higher or very, very low price of the ADX. But most importantly, if you are consider divergence, you have to take care of the series of higher ADX peaks. Oh, sorry, and a series of lower ADX peaks. I said series, and my iPhone just identified that I'm speaking to Siri. Apologies for that. If you have heard my mobile phone, it was Siri. So, uh, so, sorry. As we are aware, momentum is the speed of the price. So if we have seen ADX making some higher and higher and higher peaks. So I will show you that like that, like here. You see, I have a peak over here, another peak over here, another peak over here, another peak over here. So we have a series of higher peaks. So what that means, what that means is that the trend momentum is increasing and increasing. On the other side, vice versa, we have seen ADX making lower peaks and lower peaks and lower peaks, then it means that the trend momentum is decreasing. So that's a sign that my trend is weakening and weakening, and we might end up with a reversal of the trend. That's why you have to take care also the peaks, okay? The peaks of the ADX, how it is how your ADX is moving. So this is how you can identify, the way to identify a divergence. So when a price, what divergence means, guys? You might face that word with other indicators as well, or past webinars that we have included divergence as well. Divergence means that our chart, our price action, our asset is moving. The price of the asset is moving or positively of what our indicator are pointing to us. So if you are in an uptrend and your price is going higher and higher and higher, but your ADX is pointing, is suggesting that you have a weak momentum. So it gives you mixed signals. From one hand you have price action moving higher, from the other hand you have indicators pointing that the price is likely to go lower. That is what we are saying, we refer to as divergence. So when price makes higher high and ADX in this situation makes lower high, therefore we are in a negative divergence. So what that means is that it's a sign of reversal. Any kind of divergence, positive or negative, is a sign of reversal of our trend. It's a warning that the trend momentum is changing, and we are sooner or later will have a change on the trend direction. So you might consider that because it might be appropriate to tighten your stop loss or take partial profits before the trend reverses. So it's good to have divergence in time because it might save you from a very a major loss, especially if you haven't tightened your stop loss, so you'll end up with a major loss. So it's a good it gives you it gives you an indication. It gives you actually help on managing your risk. Okay. So divergence can not only also used as for identifying reversals, but it also can be used for identify consolidation of the asset, continuation of the trend, and some corrections. If we're overextended, we might see some conversions and then a continuation of the trend. So let's see the example though, so you will understand better what I mean and how you could actually identify divergence. So here I have an example of the very, very common euro dollar. So as you can see over here, we're clearly in a downtrend. However, we have seen some corrections upwards and then down again, some correction upwards and then down again. However, we have noticed that even though our price action was making lower lows, so initially was at 108, then it made a slight correction upwards and then continued downwards, making a new lower low down to 105, and then a newer lower low down to 102. That was a clear long-term downtrend. But we have noticed that ADX is making lower peaks, and lower peaks. That suggests that it's losing momentum. The trend momentum to the downwards is weakening and weakening and weakening. What that means? That simply means that sooner or later we're gonna see a reversal of the downtrend to uptrend, and that is actually what actually happened. So ADX. So if you have plotted these lines on your MT4, on your MT4, await for a further confirmation of a reversal, then you will have the perfect how can I say sign of entering the market on the most appropriate time and benefiting from that divergence sign that you have seen back on October and December. On December actually, so in October was still forming. So when price action is opposed of the ADX, then we have a sign of divergence. That if you have identified that back on December, then a good timing to enter the market and following an upwards trend, then it should be when your ADX was above 25 and even higher, and you have seen a break of resistance level. Resistance level were initially we're up here at 110. If you have noticed, where we have a swing higher, and also at the 107 area, it was hit 1, 2, 3, 4 times, didn't manage to break. It was hit again at this area over here, didn't manage to break. Hit it up again over here, didn't manage to break it. It went downwards, making a small correction, but it moved upwards again. Didn't manage to break it downwards, but it managed to break it in April, where it opens with a big gap over here above the 200 moving average, daily moving average. It held for quite some time, making this 200 moving average a good support, a strong support level, and make this as a support level. And by having three wide soldiers, so at this area or this area, it was a very, very good entry point. So when you see divergence, it might be, as I said, it might be soonish, or it might take some time. But if you see something like that, it's good to draw it on your chart just to have it in mind. And when it happens, you will have the perfect opportunity to gain, because you have noticed that a long time ago, and when it broke your strong resistance, you see that this is a very strong resistance. I will draw this out. I will draw this. Here we are. Mm. Oh, a very strong resistance area was hit over here, was hit over here, was hit over here, but managed to break it at this in April, 27th of April. So if you had these lines on, you could benefit because you could enter the best time possible. You can benefit up to that should be like 1, 2, 3, 400 pips. 400 pips, as long as you are patient and you make a correct preparation of your charts. You check them day after day. You draw everything you find that triggers you, just to have it in the future. Even if you are an intraday trader, once you have noticed divergence, put it on, put the lines on, just have it in mind, and once it's ready to reverse, it will give you the sign. You give you a good sign to enter the market on the most appropriate and most beneficial time possible. When the trend is reversing, can we use it as a sign to entering the market too? Yes, of course. So you see, this is what divergence is all about. So when the trend is reversing, you could enter the market on the other direction that the trend, because you have noticed a divergence on the chart, like it. Wait a minute. I think I misunderstood your question. When the trend is reversing, can we use it as a signal to enter the market too? Like if the before we open a buy and then the ADX show the divergence moment, so it means trend reversal. So I close my position in 0%. Can we? Of course, as long as you confirm that you have a strong trend. Okay, so okay, you're in a downtrend, but okay, I will let me clean them a bit so we could see. Okay, let's say that you have noticed that you have noticed the divergence within this period. It's not drawing within. Pen, come on. Up. Okay, let's assume that you have noticed divergence within October, just a month time, and you're in a downtrend. Okay, you because you have seen 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and etc. Many bearish candles. So such as you have entered you have entered short, so you are in a downtrend. But you you have also noticed that your ADX is making lower peaks, so that means that at some point you have reached the end of your downtrend and you might face a reversal to the upwards. So once you see the price, so you could, like, if you have a profit, of course, then you could like decide to close your short positions and to wait for a buying signal, because you have noticed divergence and you want to enter a long position. So you could switch your position to a long one if you notice that your asset is holding support, like what happened over here. for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days, it didn't manage to break below 105. Okay. Instead, you have seen 1, 2, 3 upwards, 3 bullish pairs, bullish candles. Okay, a correction, slight correction over here, but it continue with a very strong full body candle. In this over here, it was I don't know the exact date, but this could be your entry point because it's a full body. It's a full body bullish candle, so you could enter you could enter long in this area over here. Just take care to have the correct targets and stop loss as well. So since you have seen like it reached higher indeed, and that was a good call. However, then it's unable to move higher. So it's like consolidating for 1 to 3 days. So that's a good sign of also closing your long position. Okay. Watch the candles as well. Watch what charts are saying to you. It held above. It didn't manage to break the support level. Then it had many bullish candles. A full body one. It crossed above 20-day moving average. That's another sign of an uptrend, and it's another bullish signal. So it gives you a lot of signs to entering the market long. Okay, so you could move from a sell position to a buying position as well. Hope that helped you. A lot of questions. Can I assume reversal by ADX only? No. Why? Because it's risky. Consider reversal by ADX and by a break of resistance or support level. That will give you more confidence on your trading, more confidence of entering the best time, of entering the market in the best time. Don't stick only on the ADX. ADX gives you a sign. What will give you a confirmation is the actual candles. Okay, and the break of resistance and support level. Does divergence means that the market price and the ADX move in opposite direction to each other? Exactly. This is how you would identify divergence when your ADX is moving the opposite way of your market price. So with respect to the downtrend on the main chart and that of the ADX, as the trend was going downwards, the peaks of the ADX was making lower peaks. So why is this divergence? Because our price, okay, is making lower lows, correct? So it continues downwards. Our trend is going downwards and downwards. But remember, ADX doesn't give you a direction. The blue line, it doesn't give you a direction. It gives you how strong the trend is. So by seeing that the ADX is making lower peaks, it means that the momentum to the downwards, the strength to the downwards is decreasing. So what that means that the bulls are gaining slightly the control of the pair. So there is not the momentum of the negative momentum of the pair is running out of steam. So it's likely to reverse. Remember, ADX does not give you direction, it just gives you the strength of your trend. What gives you directions is the green and red line, the DI lines. Okay, if you want to identify divergence, you have to stick on the ADX. Okay. Project can come in handy there. Shadow, I just confirmed by candle, except you have identified. So Nabil, I'm not sure if you understand. You have initially you had identified a possible divergence because you have seen that your price differs from what ADX is present to you. So they are moving unlikely. So you have weak the ADX pointing you that presents you that the momentum is getting weakened and weakened, but the trend seems that it's making as in this situation is making lower lows. So initially you have an indication, it's an initial sign of a possible divergence using the ADX. However, what will help you to enter the market, okay, to enter the market the most appropriate time, the best time, and to get benefit is by a further confirmation. So that further confirmation is likely to be gained by the candles, by the break of your support and resistance level. I'm not sure if I have another example of divergence. No, but this was a quite good one. So you see, I have noticed divergence. Okay, I've noticed divergence. Okay, ADX is showing me that my downwards momentum is decreasing. Despite that, I am still in a downtrend, so it's decreasing. But I have noticed that the pair didn't manage to go below this area. It hit it many times. It didn't manage to go below that. So what that means, it means that it ran out of steam. It doesn't have the steam to go further down. So initially we have noticed that here we have a strong support. Then we have noticed that we have two strong bullish candle that break our initial resistance level. Can you see this? Erase. Let me clear a bit. So as I said, we have noticed that it managed to go below that and continue to be in a downtrend. It held above 103, and it held above 103, and we have seen breaking this immediate support with two strong bullish candles. Let me zoom in, okay? This was our immediate support. It break it and went below that. Then it held. It convert this resistance level as a support area and continue upwards. So candles will give you the break of resistance or support level will give you a sign of entering the best time possible. So this break of the resistance and the fact that it managed to held above this resistance, held above, moving upwards and upwards and upwards, it means that you can enter long because your price is moving higher and higher and higher, and it converted this resistance level into a support level right now. Okay, so it's a combination. So last question: what time frame is best for using ADX? As I said before, it's based on your time frame. If you are an intraday trader, reduce it So from 14, take it down to 7 or 5, checked it. If 5 or 7 gives you a good signs and signs that they are not like fast ones and you miss the trend, they are like on spot, so reduce it. If not, use the default one. If you're a long trader, then you might have to increase it. To be honest, I'm usually using the default one, the 14 period setting. Sometimes I change it to lower if I'm in a very short time frame, like a 30-minute chart, okay? But usually I use the default one. You have to check it. Yes, confirmation is coming with something else than ADX. So ADX gives you the initial sign, gives you the initial indication that, you know what, you might see in the future. The ADX is telling you that you know what, you might see in the future a reversal of the trend. So take care. This is what ADX is saying to you. But in order to enter the market, okay, you need to combine ADX with something else. A very good one is the candles. If you have a very big full body candles and a break of a moving average, then this is the extra that you need in order to enter the market. To say to yourself, oh yes, that is I have identified the reversal from the ADX initially. Now it seems that its reversal is indeed taking place, and candles are saying to me, enter long or enter short. So they give you an extra confirmation, and it gives you actually an indication of when to enter the market. So now is a good time to enter the market because my asset has break the moving average and has 2 or 3 full body bullish candles, let's say, okay? So it gives you that extra confirmation of entering the market. I'm a weekly trader. Is still okay to trade on 14 period? Yes. I have a weekly one. Where did I have the weekly one? You remember, pound card was a weekly one. 14 period, it was just fine with the 14 period one. Even if you're a weekly trader, you could still use the default, the 14 period one. Just stick it in your chart, check. Oh, it gives nice signals. It gives a delayed signals. If it gives you a delayed signal, increase it. Take it up to 20 or 30. Okay, check it before you use it. If it's a very volatile asset like pound yen, let's say, you might have to increase it. Or it depends on the asset as well. Okay, so that's why I'm saying and repeating that you have to check it prior using it. So guys, we are running out of time. We have already run out of time, so I'm waiting for your last questions. I'll give you some time for your last questions until then. I will just point out some possible risk when using ATX. Possible risk is that it can be used only in a trending market, as we have said, not a ranking one. If you are in a ranking one, don't use ADX. Wait for the asset to move out of this ranking market, to break above resistance or go below a support level. Take care of the settings. Check them before you use them. It's a good tool also to confirm. It's a good thing in order to, as I said to Nabi, it's good. ADX gives you the initial sign. A confirmation for your entry will be given either by candles or either by using moving averages or Bollinger Bands. So it's good for in order to provide you confidence in your trading. It's good to be combined with other indicators in order to give you the possible entry point. A common mistake as well is that ADX line does not imply to the trend direction. As we have seen, ADX gives you the strength of the trend. It's DI and the DI lines that give you direction. You remember the red and the green lines. So it is very useful tool for trend traders. It gives you an indicator when a trend is weakening, when a divergence might occur, or the possibility of reversal as well. However, don't use it for setting your stop loss and resistance level. Okay, it just gives you strength and direction, not possible support and resistance levels. So any other question, guys, before we end up this video? Can we get this video? Of course, they will. Our support team will provide you the link as soon as possible. On any webinars on price action soon to take place? Yes, our next webinars actually. It's not in this. It's at by the end of the May. We have okay. We have volume price analysis that will be on the 30th, so that helps a lot. And but anyway, regarding the price action, you could also attend to Tuesday's webinars, the live analysis from Stuart. So you will get a very precise they will help you, the Tuesday, the live analysis will help you to understand further the price action and how the market is moving and what the correct signs to enter the market on time and etc. So it's good to attend this in this live analysis every Tuesday. And don't forget, you can ask for any single asset that you want. And Stuart will be more than welcome to reply to you ASAP. Also, we have on 23rd correlation and the markets, harmonic price pattern on 17th, and advanced trading strategies on 24th. But also something that I missed in this slide is volume price analysis on 30th of May and trading with support and resistance on 31st of May. You didn't receive any link from yesterday's live analysis. Okay, I will inform, don't worry about it, I will inform support to send it to you. Chimaobi. So okay.
Tell him Ali.
Stuart saying that he will send it to you right now. Don't worry about it, okay? So that was the end of our webinar, guys. I cannot see any further questions. Hopefully I helped you. But even if you have some questions, just don't hesitate to send it to us to webinars@hotforex.com, and me or Stuart will reply as soon as possible. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Life Fortune. Thank you. Okay. That's hopefully you have a great trading day for the rest of the day, and see you next week. Bye bye.